So, Will, I have a 78-page plan, and this is a part of the plan where you come sit down with my daughters and I so we can discuss your book.
That'd be nice.
When you're coming, let me know. Hit me up, call my people, DM me, whatever you want to do. Good morning, sunshine. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. I'm here. Are you? I'm here on my sofa with my daughter Brianna, and you guys can't see, but Victoria, who's in North Carolina because she's at school, she is right here. Say hello, Victoria.
Hi, guys.
Yoo-hoo! So look, we started a book club. My daughters mentioned a book club. They didn't include me. It was something they were going to do as sisters, but I don't think that ever happened. Before we talk about the book club, which is why we are here today for our first inaugural book club selection, I want to tell you a funny story that kind of includes the author. So when my girls were little, I have a nail issue. It happened this morning. If you see it, my girls when they were little took like piano classes, I think guitar,
Tennis,
singing. And so I want to tell you a little funny story about Victoria going to her singing class. She had a homework assignment that her teacher gave her, and the homework assignment was to learn the song Summertime and then come back next week and sing Summertime. I never checked her assignments because, doing my single mom thing, didn't put all the effort into it. I just trust that my child is doing this assignment. Take her to class the next week. We're not allowed in. When you go into class, it's just single person with you and the teacher. So we're like waiting outside, or Brianna was in her own class that she was in. And Victoria goes in there. I don't know if you guys know Summertime, but it's Summertime and the dance breathing. You know that song. Is that Etta James? Oh, I hope I don't have.
Holiday.
It's not.
Who is it? Billie Holiday?
Billie Holiday, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Billie Holiday. My bad. But you know the song Summertime, right? Look it up. Victoria goes into class. She's ready. I ask her if she's ready. She's ready. I don't ask her to sing the song. But she comes out after class, and I say, how was it? And her teacher was not pleased with her. Why wasn't she pleased? Because when it was time to sing the song, Victoria sang, Summer, summer, summertime, summertime. Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. That story will go down in history for me. I think it's hilarious. Her teacher was kind of,
for some reason,
uppity.
that makes sense to me. It just makes sense.
Yes, your teacher was so uptight. It's like, girl, this is funny. She's singing Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. Come on, that's historical. So I say that because our first book selection is by the king of summer himself,
The one and only
Will.
She also didn't specify.
man.
I also want to say that.
She didn't specify. She said she didn't specify. So, teacher, if you're watching, that was your fault.
True.
There's
Yeah.
more than one summertime for
And
us,
she's
honey.
a child, so.
Right. She was like 9. Ooh, I wanted to fight that teacher. Another story, another day. So, listen. I think Brianna may know this, but I don't know if Victoria does. When I work, sometimes my work becomes data entry and it's just very tedious. To get through that, I listen to audiobooks. Will's audiobook came out. I was like, let me listen to it. I was not getting sleep. I was up at 3 a.m. I could not stop listening to this book. It was so intriguing, enthralling. I was into it. I was motivated. I was inspired. And so then I thought, how do I trick my kids into reading this book? Because if I just say, guys, this book is intriguing, enthralling, motivating, inspirational.
I like reading.
No, but they're going to not make it a priority. They're going to say, oh, yeah, I'll read it. Or Victoria, would you have read it if I didn't make it part of a book club?
No, just because I don't read autobiography. I thought it was autobiography.
Well, it is.
Oh, yes,
See? You think it's not true? Yeah, this is his life. So I thought, let me make it a book club and make it my first selection. And then I didn't want to tell them that I already listened to it because then they would veto my selection. So I listened to this book.
Okay, so what?
Yes, we're still going to finish this book. So yes, That's why I chose Will. So, ladies, we'll start with you, Victoria. What do you think about the book so far, since autobiographies are generally not your choice?
So far so good. I like that it's not. What can I say about because autobiographies
Are you usually bored with them?
Yeah, they're boring. Like it's things that you can find on the internet, or it's like it's an autobiography written by somebody else. So I do like that.
Oh,
Book the books as well.
that is a very good point.
That's a
So
good
it's more research based than coming from the actual person, him or herself. Very good point.
Yeah.
So we know that it's true unless you're a liar, Will, which
Right.
as a kid you
Because you
kind of
don't
were.
necessarily need to get, permission to write an autobiography.
Right.
There are the ones that you like that have been certified by the celebrity, but other than that, they're usually boring and you can find it on the internet. So I do like that it's not how can I say, what is it usually written in third person?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. Good point. Brianna, what do you think about the book so far?
I like reading in general.
Guys,
but I'm
sorry. First of all, this cat has been quiet until this moment. Give me a second.
Martha.
Pause.
Back like I never left.
I love reading, but I'm more into fictional books. I've never really read an autobiography, I don't think. So I didn't think I would be as into this, to be honest. But it's so good.
Yes, I'm going to ask Brianna
so
really
good.
quickly. There was a moment Brianna came home, I think when she first started reading the book, and I had to get her to stop talking because I said, we need to talk about this. We need to talk about this. Don't tell me anymore. She was so into it. So what was that? What were you feeling? What emotions or...
I honestly felt connected a little. I felt like it was relatable. I felt like Will and his thought process and how he was as a kid was a bit more relatable to how I was.
In what way? Would you like to share? Because you were highlighting. Tell me something.
So apparently, I was a bit of a compulsive liar when I moved here.
Oh, we're originally from Chicago, and we moved here.
I was
to Los Angeles.
Half, I think, when we moved here. And according to the kids in elementary school, I just up and lied about things. And I remember getting caught in lies because people would be like, but you told me this. And I'd be like, no, I didn't. Not remembering that I told.
What were you... So you think Will is a liar?
He said he was a compulsive liar as a kid.
What? With using his imagination and that kind of thing?
Yes. And that too. Him also detaching himself from reality. I do that a lot.
Still?
Even still. Yes.
Ooh,
as a coping mechanism. So
She getting deep, y'all. We will discuss this
I am. And the way that he talks about how unhealthy it is to detach yourself from reality and how hard reality will hit you in the face when life happens.
Right.
I'm excited to read more to see how he went through that, because that was something he, as a child, did. Given his situation was different and how he was raised, I'm excited to read how he copes with that. So in a way, it's kind of like
therapeutic.
For me,
I think, and this is my assumption, that part of his coping mechanism, or him even coming to terms with that, is happening now. So you get an early start. I think even this book helped him through the process. I really enjoyed, even though I feel his father was, not even feel, it's evident his father was abusive.
Yeah.
His discipline, I enjoyed reading about that, because as a parent, I feel like that is something I was lacking. I was more of a free spirit parent. And although my children fared pretty well, there are things that they would be better at had I been more disciplined. Structure, discipline. That part of their upbringing was lacking. So I really enjoy. I feel like I'm almost getting a parenting lesson, because I'm going to just take from it the good things that I can take from it. And maybe try over with my grandkids. Because they got to go to therapy now. It is what it is, you know? Victoria, did Will's honesty so far, did that shock you, or you expect that from Will?
No, it didn't really shock me, nor did I expect it.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of didn't really have any expectations for this book. I kind of just was just like, let's just start it and let's start reading it. But yeah, I didn't have any pre-expectations or wasn't really shocked yet. I would say the only thing is his childhood upbringing, because like again, like that's something you can't find on the internet. I didn't know he came from. I don't want to say an abusive home because it wasn't.
You don't think it's abusive him saying things like, when my dad's fist met my mom's face? You don't think it's abusive?
Oh, yeah, it's abusive towards his mom. It took a toll on him, but I'm just saying, like, for me, what I consider an abusive home is everybody is equally getting beat on. To me, if it's between the parents, I would just consider that domestic.
So you don't think it's abusive that, let's say between the parents, let's go with that concept. You don't think someone being abused and the children are not around versus you beating your partner in front of your children and then saying things to the daughter like, what the F are you crying about, is abusive to a child, whether they are experiencing the physical abuse themselves? Abuse goes on many levels.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Because this was happening in front of them. And what do we think? What do we think about Will and his lack of courage? As you know, he said his sibling, he was the oldest too. What do you think about that? Like, how do you process that when you're reading it? Do you feel like he's a coward for not stepping in? Do you feel like you would try to step in if you saw me being abused, or do you feel like you would be too afraid?
I feel like, given the circumstance, I would probably be too afraid.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think I would either involve somebody or I would just resort straight to violence, just because obviously me trying to stop punching and kicking is not gonna work. So I'm gonna just do something that's gonna take him out or just involve somebody else.
And there's no right or wrong. They're different personalities. Let me think what I would do.
But for Will, I think Will, man, I don't know what that kid is, because I guess it's because he thinks his father is his hero. I really don't know what his thought process was to just
to never
start getting beat on either, or he was like, I really don't know.
Were you gonna say something? Do you remember?
I just feel like, given the circumstances, that being normal, I could understand Will did. It would be different if that were like a first time thing. Then we'd all jump in and be like, "What the heck is going on?" Mm-hmm. If for that to be normal and that to be how he was regular, raised as a kid, I could see why he thought this isn't something I should jump into.
Mm-hmm.
He also did say his mom verbally attacked back, so I guess maybe that's also another thing. It's like you could just possibly think like
unless
herself type thing.
Yes, I was just about to say I would want to adjust the verbiage, because she didn't verbally attack back. She verbally defended herself, and because she couldn't physically. So only thing she could do was verbally. She's an educator. She uses her words.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask the final question, and I will start with Brianna. Brianna, if you could ask Will one question with what we know right now or what we've seen on television or interviews, what would you ask him?
How did he separate his father's abuse from his tactics to help raise his children that he has?
Good question, Will, because you were actually afraid of your father. So, but at the same time, you call him your hero. How did that affect your parenting and how you decided to parent? So you can answer that for us. Victoria, if you could ask Will one question, what would that question be?
How did you find acting?
How did you find acting? And oh yes, in my mind, because I listened to the audiobook, I already know the answer. I would ask a question that I actually thought Victoria was going to ask because we talked about this book a little bit in a car ride and I had to stop her because she was getting things going for me. How do you call someone who beat the woman you love most in this world, is how you described it? How is that person your hero? How did you reconcile that?
Yeah.
That's the answer. That was a very good question, Victoria. I really enjoyed that conversation. And that's something I would really like to know. We all would like to know because it was really Victoria's question. I just took it because I thought it was good.
That is a good question.
So that's it, ladies. We will continue to read the book. Thank you so much for sharing yourself, Will. This could not have been easy.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. And I look forward to, even though I listened to the audiobook, I look forward to continuing reading. Ladies, gentlemen, if you have not, I'm not joking with you. If you have not, get this book. Also watch King Richard. I watched that recently, and I could see why you would have a role like that. King Richard reminds me of your dad. I could see that being something you would want to be a part of. Also, it's a good story, and you love the good stories. But get the book, guys. I look forward to reading with my children and starting this book club, even though it's a little bit of trickery involved.
I mean, it was a good cause.
What you say, Victoria?
It was trickery.
Definitely trickery. Parents, we have to do what we have to do. So, yep, manipulation, parental manipulation. I love you. Thank you for joining us, Victoria.
Mwah.
Thank you guys. Bye. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really enjoyed this. Did you enjoy it?
I did.
Good.
It was a good talk.
So come back. We'll talk about this book once we've completely finished it so we can see if some things have been reconciled with us. I will see if Will come because you just never know. You know, it's worth a try.
May just come for one of the episodes.
Yes. But get the book. Let me know your thoughts. DM me, comment below, subscribe. And we'll see you guys later. Bye. This is the part where my theme song should play.